If you visit a national park, you may notice signs that may ask you to report areas that need repair or some improvements. But the signs are also asking that you report signs or other information that are negative about either past or living Americans, or that fail to emphasize the beauty, grandeur, and abundance of landscapes and other natural features. Historian Tracy Manning from the Mahoning Valley Historical Society is joining me now as we get mixed reactions on these signs that are popping up at our national park nearby and all across the country. Thank you for taking the time to be here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so history often does carry facts that not everyone likes to hear. How can such information be changed without then rewriting history? What do you interpret when you read the signage?
Well, I think something to think about is that history can't be rewritten and not be changed. You know, if you leave something out, if you don't tell a complete story, then you're not telling a complete story. And that's what historians do. We are always looking at as much information and resources that we can to tell as complete a story as possible. So if you leave something out of a story, then you're not getting the whole picture. So I think, you know, if you change something, that's what you're getting. You're not going to get the whole picture of what truly happened.
And you were telling us that you actually used to work for the national parks. So curious, who decides what areas have historic signage and what areas don't have that signage, and then what it says and some of the descriptions?
Yeah, I was very lucky. I spent 6 years working with the National Park Service, and you know, it really depends on those decisions. Some decisions are made at a park level, others might go higher to their region, might go all the way up to the National Park Service's main office, or it could come right down from the Department of the Interior, which is where the National Park Service falls under. So it really depends. And you know, every national park I've been to, whether it is a historical park or it is a natural park, they all have some historical significance, cultural significance. So yeah, I think these types of signs are pretty much everywhere in the National Park Service.
Was there a point in our nation's history where similar directives have come down from other administrations when it comes to, you know, writing, you know, what's in history and depicting it out, you know, within our national parks or any other part of our nation?
Not that I'm aware of. This is kind of the first time, at least that I'm aware of, that we've seen this type of directive.
And are you concerned? Do you worry that this could potentially lead to censorship? What's the conversation you and other historians are having right now about this?
Most of the historians that I work with, that I'm friends with, we're all kind of in the boat that I was talking about earlier. You know, we are like scientists. We look at resources, we look at evidence. We are trying to paint as complete a story as we can. And if you think about history, you know, narrow it down. Just think about a single person. Think about yourself. We all have things that we're really proud of, that we want to celebrate, but we also have done things that maybe we're not so proud of. And maybe we learned from those things. And that same idea can be applied to history. You know, we can learn from things in the past to hopefully make us, continue to move forward, to continue to progress into the future. So as historians, that's going to be our task, is to just continue telling as complete and inclusive a story as we can.
Is it potential that there might be information missing on some of the, exhibits that are throughout the parks?
That is possible. It's going to really depend at each different National Park Service unit what those rangers are trying to do. Yeah, this is kind of just coming down, and I'm not sure. I don't know what it's going to look like, but either way, I encourage people to visit their national parks and enjoy the beauty, the history, and just the wonderful stories they have to tell. And some of the stories, might tell some distressing things, but it's part of our past, and we can't get rid of that. Even if it's tough to swallow sometimes, we still can't get rid of those stories.
All right, Tracy, thank you so much for taking the time to join us about this story today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.